Hey everybody, it's Monster back again with Opus Gaming, and I'm here today to bring you guys a pretty exciting match. This is me on my black-yellow Big Mom list versus my friend Quan on his blue Nami self-mill deck. This is a tournament match that we had this past week, and it was a really exciting match. This happened in the middle of the tournament, so it wasn't quite finals or anything like that, but it was a really good match, so I'm excited to bring it to you guys. There's not too much to say. I'll let it play out and let you guys watch, but before we get into the gameplay footage, you guys already know we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and we just hit 750 subscribers, so that's huge. Thank you guys all so much. I really appreciate that. But before we go on and on, if you're here to leave a comment if you guys are just here to enjoy the video, and if you're not subbed, drop a sub. We're almost to 1,000. We're doing the big giveaway, so details to that will be down below, but let's get into the gameplay match right now. Alright, just setting up for the mulligan phase here. Quan decided to keep right away, and I kept as well, so we're just going through. Quan starting us off with the blue Nami deck, so we're just going to tap 1, draw 2, discard 2. Super solid start, because we're just already 2 cards deeper into our deck, and going over to my turn. Here we draw Don 2. This deck doesn't have a lot of going second turn 1 plays unless I see a Charlotte Pudding, so we end up passing it back over to Quan. He goes up to 3 Don for his turn. Thinks about what to play here. I'm sure he has a couple avenues. Yeah, we're just gonna see another one come down. So we're gonna draw 2 and discard 2 more. I can see a Zeph already poking in his hand, so he's gonna have some pretty solid, just consistent mills going through this game already. All right, we see a Deathwing come down from hand, as well as a Desert Spada. Second turn here, we're deciding to tap out. We're going to bring down Charlotte Katakuri, and we're going to look at the top of his life. I wasn't sure what the card did because at the time I wasn't super familiar with the Nami list, but we decided to put it at the bottom because we didn't want to have to deal with putting blockers onto the board here. So we poke 5k at leader here. This is just a proc, yeah, just one counter come down, and then we're going to swing a 6k. And we see another counter come down, and then we just pass from there. Here, the game plan is definitely just to develop a board and continue to just push damage every single turn. We see Quan tap out here to play down Zeph. Zeph bounces her back to your hand and mills a card, so now next turn he's going to be able to do another draw 2, discard 2. So super consistent way to go about his first 3 turns here on 5 Dawn. This turn with Quan being tapped out, though, I do know that I'm going to be able to push a little bit of damage, so we'll see what I end up doing. Thinking about where to put my Don here, I want to swing, 7k first. He's tapped out, so he can't do too much with the 7k. We swing another 7 instead of a 9k here. Maybe to put down another body, maybe it'll be a blocker. But Quan thinking about what to do here. He's a little bit low on hand size, and he doesn't have any Dons standing, so the 7k here isn't too great to see. Ends up taking it, and then we tap out the 3 and we put down a Charlotte Brûlée. That feels really good because we don't have to use Brûlée right away because he doesn't have too much removal that'll hit Brûlée. So we see a 6k into the Katakuri here, and that's totally fine because we just counter with 1 card and counter out, so that definitely feels pretty good. Zeph is going to swing 6 at him, and then we counter out 1k again. And then here he's thinking about how much Don he has to leave up to defend now on the next turn, because he was already at 3 life and he doesn't want to be at that life total. And that actually is just one thing to talk about too, is definitely how much life Nami has is an important just piece of the puzzle to always maintain. Focus on. I'll make a really big misplay here, I think, on my next turn that we'll talk about, but we see here, I missed what card, we see here the draw 2 with the peel off, so just plus the hand size, and then we see a blocker come down, we pass turn. So going into this turn, this is my 8 Dawn turn, and I'm pretty used to kind of having a pretty straightforward curve with this version of Big Mom, but I should have been a little bit more considerate of my board state here, so I think we're going to start off by poking at life a little bit here, so we swing with 5k at leader first. That's an easy counter out for Quan, and then we're also going to push 6k at leader here as well. Then we tap 1, plus 2k mill 1, And then yeah, we tap 8 here to put a big body on board. We put the Katakuri. We actually give him his Zeph back to the bottom of life, and that's a really big detriment to this game, just because giving him one more shield before it gives him essentially one more turn to get to the bottom of his deck, and we really have to push the aggression on the whole time. So looking back at it, I really don't think that play is worth it. I think it's a pretty big misplay, but we'll see how Quan is able to capitalize on it during his next turn here. He is looking at, yeah, he's just gonna tap and play another Zeph since he just lost one. And then honestly, he can sit on basically the rest of his Dawn defensively. He can attach 1 and swing with the Nami and just make it a really simple turn, because he does still have a blocker standing that'll mill 1. And he just gained a life as well. So he's just sitting pretty decently defensively. So one Dawn does go underneath Nami, and Nami's gonna swing 6k at Katakuri. I think that's a smart play. I throw the Brûlée here, and then just thinking about how Quan wants to finish the turn. And since we did have that Brûlée there, we didn't have to force the Zeph into life, just because we could have just left Brûlée to deal with the Zeph swing when it swung at life for too much damage. So here, maintaining board is super important, but we do have the Katakuri now to push some damage, so we're going to see some bigger numbers come down from Katakuri. We're getting low on hand size, so we see us tap 5 here for Shirioshi, and then we're going to discard 2. We can still push some pretty big numbers at Quan this turn, just because he does end up being tapped out, but he does have 2 blockers here. And we see a 6 King pistol come down for the discard, as well as a Daifuku, so we end up just poking 5 here at lead. Quan thinking about whether or not he wants to take it. A free 5k is pretty easy to defend, so you usually should. 6k at leader. Does he have the 2k? Nope, but we do block and mill. 8k coming at leader here. We do just take it. And then we tap 3 to play down on Paraspero, so I can continue the attacking onslaught for the next turn. And then also I have 2 Dawn up in case he decides to attack, and I'm able to pop a blocker with a shockwave. So we'll see how it goes, but first swing is going to be 6k at the Katakuri, just draining our hand 1 card at a time. Daifuku is going to come down to protect that Katakuri. Another 6k. And this turn, we're just tapping 2, and we're just going to pop the blocker on this attack, because there won't be any more attacks for the turn, and we committed those 2 Dawn already, so it's just best to use it one way or another. Yep, here we see Soga King come down. Katakuri comes back to hand, and that's a dead card just because he has no counter power, so. And then we're just paying the cost for Soga King to come down here. Whoop. And with that, it goes to my turn. Pretty short turn from Quan there, but he did everything that he needed to do, honestly. This turn is where things get kind of rough. I have the option to, I can tap out and try to get another big body on the board, but we decided to poke 5k at leader with Shirioshi. It's just best to try to turn her into an attacker some way or another. After that attack, we see, I'm hesitating a little bit here just because I'm kind of just trying to figure out what are the best numbers here, like what can Quan defend out the least. So I swing 7 here just to see if I can get a tap 2, but we just take the damage here just to plus his hand size. And it's a draw 1, which is pretty good. And then here I know that this last attack just won't go through, which would be fine if he was just on 1 life, but having 2 life here is actually a detriment because he can just defend out of a lot of these attacks pretty easily. And I believe that we're gonna see just 3k encounter come down here, I'm sure. Yep, so we tap 1. And I believe this event is just discard 1 plus 3k. And then he gets some mill 2 from the top of his deck. Oh no, we see 9k. I forgot about the Katakuri over there. Sorry about the glare on this one as well. This wasn't, sometimes it's kind of hard to get the setup going, so that's my fault. But we have glare on the Katakuri as well as the Soga King that came down earlier in the game. Quan is getting dangerously low on his deck too, and then he's just sitting on 1 life here, so all he has to do is defend out probably for 1 more turn, just because his defensive cards will all get him just closer to decking out, and we'll see what he does. So we're going to swing 7k at Peril. Is it going to be Peril Sparrow? Oh yeah, it's going to be 7k at lead, and then what I do is use 16 pistol to discard Katakuri, which makes sense. This is his chance to mill out, and then he could just kill me on this turn, but that way he wastes some of my hand. He doesn't necessarily need to swing at a character because he probably has good defense in hand here, so. I do have a 0 power Shuriyoshi on the board rested, but I don't think he's going to swing at that at all just because it kind of poses no threat. It costs so much Dawn to make it an attacker, so. Here we see AK go at Katakuri, and then we end up just countering out 1k with the Cracker. Cracker won't come down in this matchup at all just because Quan will forever be lower than me because he never swings in my life, so. Here we see a tap 3 for the Brûlée, and that's really important for him to resolve right here, so. Just getting 2 cards deeper, but it pluses his hand size 1, which is where the real value comes in. Here we see a 5k or a 6k swing at Peril, and we're just thinking about if we guard out, and we do guard out, so. Draw 1 card, we're going to restand all of our Dawn. And what we really want to do is start mounting just really good attacks at our opponent and trying to rip cards out of their hand, so. With 1 card in hand, we don't have very many options, so it's going to be really just turning everything sideways, right? And just trying to make it so that the leader can kind of close out for us, but we'll see how we decide to do that here. So we pick up 4, and it looks like we're going to go swing 9 with Big Mom at leader. We see a 1k counter, then a Love to go down to 4, or to go down to 3 and then draw 1. So we stay on 3 or 4 cards in hand. I think it's 4. Next out, we see another 9k come in here with Peril Sparrow. And here we're thinking, yep, we just level right away so we can see what our options are to discard, and then we get rid of the worst one. So we go up to 9, and then we Mihawk out here. And then 2 Dawn are going to go here onto Katakuri, but at the end of the day, it's not worth it to just give him another card in hand by swinging at life here. So and we're super scared of letting our opponent deck us out because we don't have a card in hand to block, and we don't have a blocker on board to cancel out the Zeph. So we're going to put 2 Dawn on Katakuri, and we're going to swing at Zeph here instead. Zeph will die, and then, yeah, just draw a card and start here for Quan. His deck is just outside of closing out the game reach, but he knows that he can clear the board here and then just get himself into a safe position, hiding behind the 1 life and make it more difficult. So we do counter out right away and force him to swing 2 cards into Katakuri. That way we can preserve having the Peril here, so that's kind of nice. Also, even though Peril is a floater, with the Black Yellow Big Mom list, there's so many Navy cards in here that sometimes that you just end up missing on just a 3-card search. It's just so few cards, so. Alright, going back over to our turn, we did take a really heavy hit, losing our biggest attacker here, and this is kind of where we fall off in tempo, so Juan's going to be able to defend out a lot easier because we only have 10 Dawn, so. Here we see a tap 1, look at top 4, and we see 2 Puddings and 2 CP9 cards, so a little unfortunate, but we attach, really it's just going to be the rest of our Dawn. We have two valuable attackers, and we're just going to try to make 2 attacks sync here. So we're going to swing 9k here and just hope he doesn't actually have the event. What he'll do is, instead of using 2 Dawn for a Love or anything like that, we'll just tap 1 for the Usopp, and then tap 1 for another one, go up to 9k, and then we just use 1 card and get out. That makes it so we're able to just sync this last attack at 9 at leader. And he's gonna, yeah, just be forced to take it. And after that, yeah, we just pass turn. Goes back over to Quan, and then this is where we check deck and just kind of see like how close are we. First part of the turn is gonna be, I think it comes on pretty quick. Yep, it's gonna be Kaya, draw 2. Great start. Doesn't really matter what he trashes, just as long as he can get the Zeph and trash, yeah. So we get rid of a Sogeking and a Spada. Following up the Sogeking Spada discard, we just check deck real quick. That's 4 cards. That means that we just play out the Zeph. Zeph's gonna bounce the Kaya back to hand and mill. 2 specifically, and then he's going to be able to just tap 1, bring down Kaya, draw 2, and that's going to close out the game here between me and Quan in the tournament. So that's Blue Nami. That's how they do it on that very last turn. When you just have everything set up and you're ready to try to go for game on the next turn, they'll mill themselves out. So Black Yellow Big Mom is actually a pretty cool deck. I was experimenting with lots of different types of packages in the deck at the time, but I think we've worked it into a little bit better of a play. So hopefully we'll be able to show some more of what Black and Yellow Big Mom can do, but Blue Nami is just a fantastic deck, so I really want to get this out. Such a fan favorite and so many people looking forward to it. So if you guys have any comments, especially things that you guys think are big misplays, like that really big Katakuri play that was a pretty big misplay, or anything else just to help other people that are looking at playing decks like Big Mom or Yellow versus Blue Nami, leave them in the comments down below. But at the end of the day, this is gonna be Jamonster with Opus Gaming, and I'm out. Take care, you guys.